Well, good afternoon. Want to give you an update here on the approaching tropical storm. That's the good news. Remember, it was supposed to be a hurricane as it approached the coastline of Florida. It's not much different, but it's about 10 miles per hour under what was originally thought as it is starting to move again up the east coast there, the east coast of Florida. So right now, as of the 2 p.m. advisory, and it won't be too long, remember, coming up here at a little before 5, we're going to actually get a new advisory, but that is not out yet. So the latest one, 65 mile per hour sustained winds, gusts as high as 75, and it is moving pretty much due north or north-northwest right now at 9 miles per hour. You can see out here, Vero Beach, the wording. It is 45 miles east-southeast of Vero Beach. Next couple of hours, it'll pass up pretty close to Cape Canaveral. Again, right basically along the coastline there at Cape Canaveral, maybe just offshore, and then start to make the curve I was telling you about 2 days ago that I thought they needed to move the path west, and they finally have. Bringing it in here somewhere between Charleston and Myrtle Beach, and then continuing on up inland across east central North Carolina, eventually on into southeast Virginia. The timing, Monday, 8 p.m., 65 mile per hour winds as it gets ready to make landfall there across South Carolina, on up here into extreme western parts of our viewing area in North Carolina. Let's say close to I-95 roughly. It'll be 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday with sustained winds around 60, higher gusts, and then it'll move right up here through Hampton Roads. Some of you, I think, especially out here a little bit more west, may actually get to see an eye. You could have some pretty good thunderstorms, heavy rain, and then look up, see the eye, and then get right back in the backside. But again, it's not a hurricane, but it's still going to do more damage, I think, than some people think because of these higher wind gusts. We'll get to that in a minute. And then 8 p.m. on Tuesday, it's already up around New York City and flying off to the north, eventually heading for the Canadian Maritimes. Our impacts here locally, and when I say our, I'm including the Outer Banks and our viewing area in Hampton Roads. Some of these will be different just west of us, let's say in Richmond or Central Virginia, out near Emporia and west. But in general, for Hampton Roads, rainfall will be moderate in terms of the impacts. It'll be higher by far once you get to the west and potentially around here, but I'm thinking the heaviest rain will be to the west, as we've been saying for a couple of days now. Winds moderate. Now that's on a region-wide basis. For somebody who ends up with a tree on their house, they're going to be, you said it was moderate. This is a high impact. Well, it is for you, obviously, and we hate to see that. But on an overall basis, our entire viewing area, it's going to be, in general, a moderate impact, with some spots by the coastline, especially, or near water of any kind, ending up moderate to maybe high. Tidal flooding, minor to maybe moderate. It's a quick-moving storm. One of the things I'm a little worried about, strong southerly winds coming in early Tuesday. Watch for some of the water from the Currituck Sound, from Back Bay, those kinds, Elizabeth City with a southerly wind. Places that get, again, a flood when you get a strong southerly wind, you're going to have to watch out a little bit more than the rest of us. Maybe even up into like Mob Jack Bay with a south or south-southeast wind. And the tornado threat, at least moderate, and I think we will have a fairly high risk. We'll certainly have a tornado watch, probably have some warnings. Now, hopefully they're quick ones that just spin up, that are relatively weak, but that's not always the case. We had one a number of years ago that brought an EF3 tornado on a fairly similar path. So we're going to be watching that very, very carefully. The probability of seeing 40 mile per hour sustained winds or higher, you can see 100% basically down here to the south. And then as you come up through the Carolinas, focus in on Hampton Roads, this is a 60 to 70% chance of sustained winds of tropical storm force or higher. And that's what we think we're going to get, especially, again, near the water. The track model's still showing basically what they have for the last day or more, now really clustered inland with very few, in fact, only one out over the water. So here's more specifics in terms of the breakdown as to what we can expect. Near the water, or actually, let's say Hampton Roads, not inland, in other words, for most of our viewing area, winds sustained at 30 to 50 and gusts to 65 or more. And again, 60 or more starts to bring down trees, does a lot of damage. So we're going to look for some significant power outages, some trees on houses, very potentially. In fact, probably, I would think, but certainly possibly. Rainfall 1 to 3 inches, so some heavy rain, but not anything that's atypical even of a regular thunderstorm. Just more areas will get it. Instead of a thunderstorm scattered variety like we've seen, we'll get a pocket here and a neighborhood there. This will be many, many, many areas, so that'll cause a little bit of an issue. Several tornadoes likely, and a storm surge of about 1 to maybe 2 feet above normal. Hopefully won't even get up to that 2 feet level. Now let's talk about the rainfall potential. These are, again, estimates. We can't tell you exactly where the rainfall bands are going to set up, but knowing the current track, we can say that in general, we are expecting a lot of rain, some flooding problems, not just with the initial storm, but with all this water in the basin. Once this storm leaves, I'm going to watch for some potential river flooding 1, 2, 3 or more days from now out here into Central Virginia, north central areas of North Carolina. But around here, in general, as I said, 1 to maybe as high as 3 inches. That's the American model, by the way, but very similar when we look at the European model. Not quite as much here locally from eastern North Carolina on up through eastern Virginia, anywhere from around 3/4 of an inch to maybe 2 inches. But again, out here just to the west of us, several, in fact, many inches, causing a potential problem out there. So that's the very latest. We'll be getting an update here again at the top of the hour at 5 o'clock. We'll have that for you on the news at 6. And then, of course, we'll have halftime again of the evening game, and then again at 11 o'clock. So we'll keep you updated here with this storm throughout the afternoon and evening.